wonderful, kooky family that I grew up with. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I don't think many of them would, consider it something negative to be called kooky because they were kooky in a wonderful way. Now, not all of my family was totally kooky, but so many were, and so many people that we knew were on the kooky side, but in a wonderful, wonderful, amazing way. You know, I had some babysitters. They were elderly, and they would watch over me when my mom went to nursing school. I was about 6 years old. And Irene had big old clumpy old lady shoes and wore a kind of a house dress. And she was a bit Alzheimerish at that point, and later she became very Alzheimerish. But she was fun and wonderful, and she'd make me a poached egg in the morning when I would be dropped off by my mom. And Irene and I would dance around the kitchen, and in her big clumpy shoes and little me, and we would dance to Petula Clark's Downtown to the radio, if you remember that, back in the early 1960s. And then Charles was her husband, and he sold Amway. And we used to go around in their old Rambler green station wagon with their little dog Pee-wee with all their Amway products and deliver Amway products. And they would go around telling everybody I was their child. And they were wonderful. And we would sit in the evenings, if I would stay over there, and we'd watch Hee Haw and the Honeymooner reruns. And they let me stay up as late as I wanted. And they would let me eat all the candy I wanted. And it was wonderful. They were like elderly grandparents that were just kooky and wonderful. Charles smoked big old stogie cigars and had his Mel pouch tobacco. He would sit and spit in the can, but it was all wonderful. And they treated me so wonderful. Then Charles got sick with a muscular disorder and he passed. And prior to that, Irene developed severe Alzheimer's and had to be institutionalized. Back in those days, it was called the Crazy House, but it was really a state-run mental institution. And so, but before that, as she became Alzheimer's, instead of her babysitting me, I began to babysit her at about 11 years old, when I was about 11 years old. And, but we pretended like she was babysitting me, so not to offend her. And then one day she happened to decide for whatever reason to go out, and she went out and she was crossing a street and she got hit by a car. Fortunately, she survived it, but she was very bruised up. And the people tried to take her to the hospital, but she refused to go. She kept saying she wanted to go back to her house, and she did. And so, but her Alzheimer's became so bad and so significant that she had to be, hospitalized on a permanent level. And so my mom and I would go out to visit her, and she didn't know who I was anymore. She had no idea who we were, but she was happy to see us. And we were always happy to see her. And so I consider them my kooky family in part, even though they weren't technically my family, but they were. And I had a lot of other wonderful, amazing, kooky relatives too. Some not so kooky, some kookier than others, and some not kooky at all. And so, but that's just a wonderful memory I wanted to share with you, okay? From my house to yours. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.